Hello, I'm Dr. Mark, and we have Sheri here, and we are showcasing some amazing testimonials of how people have come through severe health issues into healing. And so I want to welcome Sheri.
Thank you.
And Sheri, maybe you can just tell us a bit about yourself. I think you're married, two kids, and just a little bit about where you were the 2 years before chiropractic.
So 2 years before, I've had sciatica for at least 15 years, if not maybe 20.
Wow.
And it gradually got worse,
Mm.
where I could almost pretty much draw a line.
Right.
Right.
And so you say it was there 24/7, pinched a
Yes.
little bit.
For the last about year and a half to 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tell us when you had bad episodes, how did that affect you? And
Oh,
what
it
did that
affected everything.
what did that mean for your life as a
Even little
mom?
things. Just my husband's gone to work early, so I take care of the kids in the morning. So even just getting up to do breakfast and lunch was hard because it's hard walking from point A to point B. So I had a hard time doing that. I did it. Actually, I had to call my mom several times to take them to school if it was that bad.
Yeah.
So, but you do the best you can, and I would ice it. But yeah, I really, when I have my episodes, I really can't do much of anything. I could barely walk from my house to the car. It's bad. It's
Wow.
almost debilitating.
Would you be able to work through those bad episodes, or
When it got that bad, no. Usually, I had at least a couple days of icing and anti-inflammatories, and then I would kind of hobble into work and then try not to move the rest of the day. And I mean, I had people who knew I had back problems, so they even go grab me coffee,
yeah,
stuff like that. I bring my lunch, so I didn't really have to move
yeah.
or not move very far.
Now you were really physically fit. Used to work out, right?
Used to, yes.
But you said in that 2 year period that was too risky, right?
Yeah,
For you, so you stopped working out.
In my mind, I just didn't want to have another episode because our life is very busy, and I was more worried about not being able to take my kids to a game or
Yeah.
get to work that I felt like I was protecting my back.
Yeah.
So I stopped doing a lot of things and really watched even little things like how I bent, how I turned, how I lifted, how I did whatever. Just every movement was almost
Yeah.
calculated because I didn't want to screw it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you've had an amazing change. We'll get to that in a second, but I just like the story you told me that you said the most stressful time for you, and I think a lot of people know this with kids, was getting ready for holiday.
Yes.
So what was that period like, and what was the holiday like compared to now? Because you just came back
Right.
from a holiday, right?
Yes.
And how are those two different?
Well, it was great, and usually before a holiday or Christmas time, because I do Christmas dinners for the family.
Right.
The last Christmas dinner, actually, well, sorry, the last one my mother did, and I couldn't even make it to it because I had an episode. The time before that, I did the Christmas dinner. I was hobbling around trying to do it, but my back was out.
Yeah.
Again, you do too much. You're trying to get ready for holidays, so you're cleaning the house, you're running around, buying stuff, getting groceries, or doing whatever you need to do, and that's when my back would go out. So basically, I wouldn't do much for my holidays, or I'd lose at least half my holidays trying to get my back better.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah, so holidays were almost like I was recuperating, and then I'd be going back to work. So
Wow.
yeah,
And so how was this last holiday?
awesome. It was awesome. So I was a little worried because it's always in the back of your head. You've had it for so long. So we went on holidays, and I did notice a little bit where I can feel it now, which is nice. I get these little hints. My back's telling me something, instead of before where I never had that. It was so point. It would just pinch or whatever would happen, inflammation, and then I'd be done. Like I never had any warning. It'd just be done. Now I get these little warnings, or I'll get this little tug and pull, and I go, okay. So now I know, okay, I've been slacking off. I need to get my exercises. I need to do my stretches, and I need to get moving. And then it's within the hour, I'm
It's all sound
better. So yeah, we did a lot of stuff. I did a lot of walking. We did day trips. We were at the lake. It was great. I enjoyed my kids. It was awesome.
That's good.
It was first time in a very, very long time.
Good. I kind of jumped ahead. So let's go back. How did you hear about us? And what were some of the fears you had about coming to see a chiropractor?
Right.
And what's been your experience and how it's helped you in your back?
Well, I heard from a friend of mine who was coming to see you. And so she talked to me when she first started and your education night. Um, and it made sense to me. I was skeptical. I was a little afraid of chiropractors, and I don't know if I fully believed in that at the time.
Right.
Even coming in here at the beginning, I wasn't a firm believer, to be honest. I mean, when I listened to you talk, it made sense. So again, you know, and then you just get to a point in your life where basically, like you said before, fight or flight, and you get to a point where you have to do something. And when you have choice. Yeah, and you have other options, and unfortunately, when you go to different doctors or different things about your back, they don't say much. They'll say, you know, just ice it. It is what it is. It's degenerating. You know, take anti-inflammatories, and then
live with it.
For that period of time. So if your back goes out, make sure you take anti-inflammatories for at least a week, so you've got that good time going, and ice in between. Okay. And that was pretty much your options. So I got to a point where I had to do something because it was really affecting my life, where I wasn't playing with my kids. I wasn't going places. I wasn't doing things because I'm going to screw my back. I'm going to screw my back. I can't screw my back. Wow. So I wasn't living it. It got to the point where I wasn't really living. You know, I was watching. Yeah. And I hated that because I didn't want to be that parent. And I was never that parent before. So I decided to come in, and I went to your education night. And I went, okay. Again, making sense. I was skeptical, but I'm like, okay. Yeah. And you and I had a long talk about, you know, about my back and how bad it was. And I kind of knew it, but to see it on the x-rays and to talk to you about it, it's kind of a reality. You're kind of, you know, you're kind of almost hoping it's not really that bad. It's just a pulled muscle, or it's just something silly that you've done or something. And then, but I mean, I did let it go for far, far too long. And I didn't do the right things. And it was sad to see, because all that, you know, and I mean, I'm 42 and I'm thinking 42 and my back's already degenerated that much. It bothered me. Yeah. It really, really bothered me. But now then you're also faced with it, going, okay, I got to do something about it. And when you said you could help me, I'm thinking, okay, you were the first person who probably said, yes, I can help you. This can get better. Good. And again, you hear it, but you're kind of going, okay, well, what do I have to lose? Skeptical. Yeah. I was a little skeptical just because it's been so long. And like I said, I've been to seeing a few other people, and nobody would do much for it. Just, you know, or here, take a pill. Take a pill. Ice it, take a pill. Yeah. So you started care skeptically. Yes, I did, to be honest.
Which is normal. That's good. So what was your experience, let's say, going through your first weeks, and then 3 months, 6 months, and what have you noticed?
Right. Well, my back was a little stubborn at first, and my neck within a month was awesome. And the funny thing is, you don't even realize how much pain you're actually living with until you actually lose it. Right. You know, I was in chronic pain with my neck all the time, and I'm so used to it for so long that I guess you just almost, it's just normal to you. That's your norm. Right. So, and now I have a new norm, which is nice. So I noticed my neck first. Yeah. All of a sudden, we're coming in about a little over a month, my neck pain was gone. Wow. And I went.
And headaches too, right?
I have very few headaches now. I suffered from migraines for years, since I was a teenager. And now I actually used to have to take pills because I get them so often before, just to prevent me, especially certain times of the year. Wow. So I don't do that anymore. I don't even take migraine. I might take maybe a Tylenol or something, but because there's so few and far in between, I don't really grab a prescription anymore. So, and then one day, all of a sudden, it just unpinched. And I'm kind of going, Now, it was going back and forth for a while. There would unpinch and I'd be sore, and then I'd be okay, sore and okay, and then okay, but it's happening. It's happening. And then one day as well too, because of the hips being shifted, I don't know if you remember, because I know you see a lot of patients, but all of a sudden something just shifted. And I was kind of nervous, and I was going to work that day, and I'm thinking, okay, that's awesome, because it's probably going back to where it needs to be. Right. But oh my God, what's happening? What's happening? And am I going to be okay within the next hour or two? But, and I was a little sore that day, but and then it just gradually got better. And then it got to a point where I had no pain for a while, and then maybe it come back if I pushed it a little bit too much, and then come back. But again, it just got stronger and stronger. And then we started working on my core.
So I just need to share, you would never played soccer before. This is a funny story. You went to play soccer with your two boys.
Yes.
Because they play soccer, right?
They both play soccer, yes.
And what happened?
My son, who is, he's 12, but he's only 80 pounds. Wow. And so, and he's a great soccer player. Anyways, he was kicking and turning and doing a whole, he'd tell you the names, I don't know. But anyways, next thing I know, he's almost underneath me trying to get the ball. And I went there and I almost felt like I was going to land on him. So my natural reaction was to jump over him. And I kind of did like a somersault twist turn. Next thing I know, I'm on my back on the ground. I'm thinking, oh no, what did I just do? I'm thinking, oh, like, please, don't go out on me, because it's, again, my back's been awesome, but it's always in the back of your head.
Yeah.
And it was fine. Like,
we'll just finish up. People are watching who are skeptical, are afraid, and actually don't believe that they cannot get better. And they've been told, live with it. You're getting old. There's nothing to do. What would you tell those people about chiropractic?
I was probably one of the biggest skeptics out there before this, and I'll blame that on my ignorance. Because you hear worst case scenarios and you hear certain people talking who probably have never really been to a chiropractor. But you know what? Just try it, because there are other options. And like I said, I was to a point where I was barely doing next to nothing. And I'm 42 and I have kids, and that was, so it'll really change your life. I never thought I'd feel this good again. Even when you said it was going to get better, I thought it was going to get better, but not to this point where I'd be out of pain. Just maybe I could function a little bit better.
Right, without
and
pain.
then, so now that I'm at a point where I can actually get my life back, and I'm doing things, and I'm going places, and I'm doing things I haven't done in years, because now I know I can. It's an awesome feeling. So thank you for that.
Good.
Really,
you're welcome. Thank you. And thanks for sharing with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll see you later.